The text came in while I was straightening my tie outside the boardroom. You should leave after the meeting. Please don't make this harder. It was from my wife. I stared at the screen, rereading it until the letters blurred. Inside the glass walls, 12 senior leaders were already seated, including her father at the head of the table, calm and unreadable. The CEO. My father-in-law. The man who'd once toasted to me at our wedding and called me the son he never had. I slipped my phone into my pocket and walked in anyway. 10 minutes later, my life cracked open. He didn't raise his voice. That somehow made it worse. Thank you all for coming, he said, fingers folded neatly. Then his eyes locked onto mine. This will be brief. Effective immediately, your position has been terminated. A ripple of shock moved through the room. I felt it physically, like a cold wave breaking against my chest. Sir, I said, standing without realizing it, there must be some mistake. There isn't. He didn't look at anyone else. You have 5 minutes to clean up and leave the building. 5 minutes. No warning. No private conversation. Just public execution. I looked toward my wife's empty chair. She was supposed to be there. She always was. That was when I understood. This wasn't just business. As I packed my things under the watchful eyes of colleagues who wouldn't meet my gaze, memories collided with the present. Late nights, she said, were strategy calls. Missed dinners. Her phone always face down. The way she'd flinch when I asked simple questions, like how her day went. I told myself I was being paranoid. I loved her. I trusted her. By the time I reached the parking garage, my hands were shaking. At home, the house felt staged, too clean, too quiet. Her shoes were gone. So was her laptop. On the kitchen counter sat a folded envelope with my name written in her handwriting. Inside was a single sentence. I never meant for it to happen like this. I sank into a chair, my mind racing backward, replaying every moment I'd ignored. The cancelled weekend trip. The way her father suddenly became distant at work. The promotion I was promised and never received. It wasn't just the firing. It was the erasing. The truth arrived an hour later, uninvited, in the form of a message notification she must have forgotten to silence. Her iPad was still synced to our account. I'm at the hotel. He did it. We're finally free. The name attached to the message belonged to the head of operations. My boss. My mentor. The man she was sleeping with. I didn't scream. I didn't cry. I just sat there, feeling something hollow out inside me. Every shared laugh, every whispered promise, suddenly felt rehearsed. Like I'd been living inside someone else's story. When she came home that night, she didn't pretend. I was going to tell you, she said quietly, eyes red but steady. It started months ago. I didn't plan it. You planned today, I replied. She flinched. My father found out. He gave me a choice. End it cleanly or destroy everything. So you destroyed me instead. Silence stretched between us. In it, I saw her guilt, and her relief. She'd already grieved us. I was just catching up. I loved you, she said. I believe you, I answered. And that was the cruelest part. The divorce was swift. The company severed ties completely. Friends chose sides without saying so out loud. I moved into a small apartment with mismatched furniture and learned how loud loneliness could be. But something unexpected happened in the quiet. I remembered who I was before I became convenient. Months later, I ran into one of the board members for coffee. He'd left the company too. Said the culture had rotted from the top down. He asked if I'd consider partnering on something new. I smiled for the first time in a long while. Sometimes betrayal doesn't just take, it clears space. I lost a job. I lost a marriage. I lost a future I thought was guaranteed. But I kept my self-respect. And that, I learned, was the one thing no CEO, no matter how powerful, could ever fire me from.